Yeah, the oscilloscope is one of numerous technologies that I'm fascinated with for producing an image from code, but outside of the displays that we're used to on our laptop, on this screen, which are all pixel-based. I think it's great for looking at photos, and they have their advantages, but for code, I slowly got tired of seeing almost the same quality of output no matter what I programmed in. So the oscilloscope is particularly interesting to me because of this glow that it has, the fact it's this single line, it's this beam, electron beam shooting to the front and moving a path, and so when playing with a wave it is also a line. Yeah, this is the first station of OscillBody, OscillTypo, and it incorporates the user and their image spread across 4 oscilloscopes. These devices made initially for measuring electrical signals, but in this case are being used for their CRT cathode tube beam to redraw this image. And here I use a depth sensor, which it has the ability to capture the person from their background, so where they can experience their image through this translation to the oscilloscope. And this way I'm able to have a single point line of their whole body, which is quite interesting how it reacts depending on people sitting next to each other, their body, how separated each element is. And this is constantly overdubbing about a 3-second loop that will then pass on to the other stations the minute they exit the screen. So when I back up, whatever action I did here, I can then go watch on the other stations. Yeah, on the second station, this is where the visitor can see their body combined with type on a small level. So every couple seconds the sound is changing between these pitches, and at the same time the letter that's combined with the person alternates. It goes through the Latin alphabet, and at the end, in this particular piece, comes to the umlaut and SZ, because we're in Germany here. As this piece began at this Typojanji Biennale for typography, and so there the emphasis is on typography, design, and and the theme of this last year was body, and so I thought, what can we do combining type with the body? Yeah, here I see myself, and I see this moment that I just had a few seconds ago, combined with these letters, and I get to see the influence that each letter has on my contour. When it's an I, it's maybe the most clear. A C produces an interesting sort of image. Sometimes an M or a W produces a different kind of contour here, for example. So I have this play of that was me a second ago, but this isn't me through this combination, or it's an extended me. Here in the third station, this is similar to the second with the opposite combination. Here the letter form is the large main visual with the person's body being the small detail on top of it. I accomplished this through mixing the 2 waveforms at different frequencies. So here the letter is a lower frequency, around 50 Hertz, while the body is quite a small volume, upward of 1000 Hertz, and therefore it becomes this additive waveform, and we're able to combine images with each other. On this final oscilloscope, I play back this loop that I've captured from the beginning that only exists so long as someone else doesn't come into the view. So when someone's been in front of the very first station, they're recording over this buffer, this loop, and as soon as they go out of view, that moment plays back. It's about 2 to 3 seconds. It plays back over and over until someone else comes in, and that way it has this short-lived history. If one visits the exhibition alone, they have the best chance to see their movement through all of the oscilloscopes. But the minute someone else comes in, then they're sort of rewriting the history of the work, and then the person gets to experience that person's gesture. Yeah, in the best case, with a little bit of time, they start to experience the sound difference through the image difference. When there's very little image happening, the sound will be quite subtle. The minute maybe someone's face came close to the camera or a few people were in front of it, they might hear this difference. I've had the experience since sonifying it in this pentatonic scale, where it's a sort of musical chord. Some people question or doubt that the sound is the image because it has already sort of a musical soundscape to it. And that's where they have to believe me. To me, it's the peak of what I've been exploring the last few years, of this relationship between sound and image. So often I've been replying or responding to sound with an image, and then occasionally generating sound from the image. And finally, in this case, the two meet at the closest point, that the sound is the image, is the sound. So it'll be interesting after I'll continue exploring oscilloscope works, but is this about as close as I could get to that relationship? There are a handful of other ways that you can sonify an image, and so I'll have to continue exploring those. But what I find quite interesting is just the fact that the sound goes away and our image disappears entirely. Here I've taken away the left channel, here I take away the right channel, and now my image is lost in that regard. This computer here is both what's running the artwork. It's controlling the signal that's been sent to all of the oscilloscopes, especially via a professional audio card that can convert the audio signal out in a special way to each device. And I could just show a blank screen or hide the computer, but I decided to show it and try to offer the viewer a slight explanation behind the process. So here one can see their body, or the body of someone in real time that's in front of the first station. They can see the typography, the letter that's currently being spread through the system. And they see then from this looping buffer the conversion of this image into a line. And so that way they can see, okay, this image is converted to a single line, and from this line I have to create this left and right audio. That was the tricky process that took me a few years of doing wrong and then finally speaking with the correct person, Jos van Rossum, who had accomplished letters on oscilloscope and sort of told me what I was doing wrong in this conversion, and from there I could do any image. And what has to happen is I have to convert the left and right movements to one channel of audio, left, and the up and down vertical movements to the right audio channel. So I build a waveform on an oscillator, and this can then be sent at any frequency. So here you get to see the audio as sound. This is just the waveform that's being sent, and this is the actual audio at a certain pitch. We can sometimes see when it's a really high pitch that's being sent out, and a preview of what the image looks like translated back to the oscilloscope.